Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, and today I want to talk about what I think could make it into a Horses expansion pack, assuming this ends up being real. Though there is another couple of tweets that I want to cover first that will also kinda help inform this discussion. This once again comes from Sematically, who has leaked all of the kit items whenever they are about to release, and pretty sure also knew the general idea behind cottage living before it was even announced, so there is a pretty good chance that what he's saying here is right. Following up on his recent tweet where he claims that the new world is going to be inspired by the US state of Arizona, he answered a question from Sweet Spellcaster, can you say if the whole expansion pack is about horses, or if we have more gameplay? It thematically says, more than just horses, other animals too. Mikey asked, other animals then horse related, like donkeys, or just horse related? And thematically says, not horse related. That's quite an interesting answer. I certainly don't blame anyone for being worried that this pack would just be all about horses and nothing else, because they've set precedent for this over the years with certain fiascos like my first pet stuff, and the horses not even being in cottage living when they would have fit so well. So even before the whole leak started, it seems like a very possible idea that horses would be their own pack, though I was initially thinking they would just be a game pack. But if there's really more animals than just horses, then okay, this is starting to make more sense, and hopefully will feel more like a true expansion pack than just a game pack that's being sold for $40. We could even get an occult, unicorns! We did have them in The Sims 3 Pets alongside the horses, so I can imagine them doing that again. I don't think unicorns need to have their own separate game pack like other occults have in the past. I think it could also be a great way to cater to both realistic and occult players, because even though I know there are some people who want fairies, I don't know if they'll already do another occult-related game pack in a row, because the last one was werewolves, which actually came out almost a year ago now, because it did come out on June 16th. But, I don't know, I think they could do something else, like hotels or bands for the next game pack. What about other animals entirely, though? Initially I struggled to think of anything, but I realized, oh wait, what if they aren't necessarily all domesticated animals? Like, what if we got more wildlife? Because in The Sims 3 Pets, we also had deer. And in some previous Sims games, we had skunks and raccoons. And we do, yes, have raccoons technically sort of in The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, but they're pretty much cats with raccoon voices. I'm talking about wild raccoons that like knocking over your garbage cans. I think that is very well possible, because we did also get foxes in The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, and they're just like dogs with fox voices, and then we got the wild foxes in Cottage Living with that lot challenge, so we could get a raccoon-related lot challenge in this pack. I guess you could also apply that to deer and skunks, so you have an easier way of toggling them on and off where you want them. Because in The Sims 3, with the deer and the wild horses, it was set so that they would appear in suburban worlds, which is 99% of all of the official released worlds in The Sims 3, because Bridgeport was the only one that was set as a city world in the end. I think it could also be nice if we have ducks. I know there's those really low poly ones that are just pond decorations, but I think it would be pretty cute if we could have ducks that roam around outside the ponds and are a lot more detailed, putting the seagulls to shame. Actually, one intriguing possibility could be more small pets. Up until now, I figured that would be impossible because of how my first pet stuff turned out. But if they truly are doing an Arizona-inspired world, which actually, by the way, in my previous video, I was told that Strangerville apparently doesn't really look much like Arizona at all, even though I could have sworn in the live stream, SimGuru said that Strangerville was inspired by the likes of Arizona and New Mexico, but I guess they got it wrong. But I think if they were to do a truly more Arizona-inspired world, then it would make a lot of sense to have lizards and or snakes. This theoretical leaked pack could have even more in common with the Sims 3 pets than I initially would have thought. I don't think they would allow you to catch them in the wild this time around though. I think you would just place down their home and choose what breed of lizard or snake, and there you go. Bringing things back to horses, I saw English Simmer suggest a really great idea of children being able to learn to ride horses. In my opinion, that's really shooting for the stars. I don't think that's likely, but yeah, I mean, we did have kids just learning how to ride bikes in Growing Together, so it could be neat in that sort of sense where it's like, hey, it's another thing they can learn instead of automatically just already knowing how to do that. What I think is more likely to happen is they'll bring back the rocking horses, so children at least have something to do. And for the adults, maybe we could also get back the mechanical bull, because I'm sure we will have a bar in this new world. So there would be at least one new gameplay object that this bar could have compared to all the other bars that are normally just there by default when you start a new save. Most likely, at least teens and older will have a general riding skill and show jumping skill, because maybe even this time around they could make that an active career instead of just a self-employed one. I don't think they'll bring back racing though, because that is a very controversial thing, and I think that is something that they would want to avoid. We may already have a good idea of what the build buy would look like for this pack, because during the Behind the Sims Summit livestream last year, we got a bunch of concept art. There were the 2 world pictures, which actually both ended up being for San Sequoia, not one world and another one. So I think with the build buy one here, they might both be for this expansion pack. I think they both match the ranch vibe pretty well and also go with a North American feel. As far as Create a Sim goes, well, I think all I need to say is yeehaw, and you already have an idea of what I think the human sim fashion would be like. But for horses, I think you will be able to paint them just like we can with the cats and dogs and the werewolves too, as of last year. And I think also to be more in line with the fact that we got clothing for cats and dogs and the cottage living animals, that we will get some fashion for horses as well. I'm not really sure what they could do other than horse blankets. I would love to see horse blankets. We didn't have those in The Sims 3. One other miscellaneous thing that I think is very likely to make it into this pack is the return of Haystack Woohoo. In The Sims 3, it is essentially the same as the Leaf Pile Woohoo from Seasons, so I think that would be a very easy addition, and hey, everyone loves new woohoo spots in The Sims, so yup, easy add. One aspect I'm not sure about is what would they give to us for free in the big update alongside the expansion pack, because especially for expansion packs, they give us one major feature for free to just add to the hype. The only thing I can think of is something that I'm sure would not happen at the same time as horses, but cars, because it would be nice to have cars in the game so that we could have horse trailers to make the transportation of the horses feel a bit more realistic, even without the open world. Okay, so I was just about to end this video, but then Sematically just quote-tweeted my speculation about what animals we could get besides horses, and says it's a desert world similar to Strangerville in terms of landscape, but with a lot more grass and greenery here and there, so goats and sheep can live there peacefully. Wow, that's real subtle, so basically all my guesses were wrong. I would love to see how sheep would look in The Sims 4's art style though. That would be just super adorable. Come to think of it, the sheep would also be an easy add gameplay wise because we're already able to get wool from llamas in Cottage Living, so they could just reuse that with the sheep. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. Feel free to let me know your ideas for a horses expansion pack, and I guess other animals as well. And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!